Mr. Jack Draper, how's tricks?
Exactly, mate. I'm all good. Self?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Right, first and foremost, how's the Sambo training going, brother?
Oh, mate, I love it.
Yeah,
It's
because
fucking
Sambo's,
brilliant.
it's like just a Russian version of fucking MMA, isn't it, really?
It's more like I'd say it's more the Russian version of judo because
Yeah, but you strike and kick, don't you, though, with it?
In combat Sambo you do, but you also have Sambo as well, which is just the grappling side of it.
Yeah, so it's like a Russian version of wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very similar to judo. The only difference is in judo it's very upright. You're only allowed to throw to get takedowns from the waist upwards, whereas in Sambo you're allowed to do from fucking anywhere. So
What's brought that on, Jack? What's brought you getting into that?
I've always wanted to do it anyway. I've loved fucking Sambo for years, but it's been one of those things I've never had the time to do.
Yeah, because I remember having a brief conversation about I think it was a while back when we were talking about the King of the Streets, is it?
Yeah,
you were wanting to give that a bash, aren't you?
Yeah, I still do want to give it a bash, but that's like I said, I'm not gonna rush into that. That's something that I need to be prepared for. Do you know what I mean? And I'm making sure I get prepared for it. I'm not just gonna. I know there's a lot of guys that are getting involved in the no rule stuff now, but I think they're making themselves look fucking stupid because they're just getting bashed up.
Yeah. There's certain people that they're building a platform off it, aren't they? Going 10 other fights and getting filled in. You know, it's working well for them because me personally, I respect anyone who wants to get in there and swap a few shots, mate. But what I hate, like one of my pet peeves, if I'm being honest, mate, is when someone turns up to lose.
Yeah.
I can't. As much as in hindsight, I think, well, you game and I respect that. But one or two shots and you're curling up and that, I hate that. I hate watching that.
Yeah.
Matt leg in the house, pick up Matt leg.
Matt leg in the chat. Yes.
Matt leg, man, what a guy he is.
But
it's unbelievable.
It is one of them things where it's like I wouldn't be able to do it to myself. I wouldn't be able to just turn up and lose. I mean, I've been offered the journeyman route as a professional boxer. Yeah. And I mean serious money to be made there as well. Like I'm talking fucking like 3 fights a month at a few grand a fight to start with. And but I just can't. But you're there to lose. Do you know what I mean? I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. And look, I got offered. You know, when I was early K1, I was training with a guy, one of my best friends. He's called Paul Truscott. He was Commonwealth. He won the Commonwealth. He was very, very skillful fighter, very good fighter. He was his own worst enemy at times, but he was very good, very skillful, very fast, very sharp, light at the lightweights. And I was very close with him. He's one of my best friends. And he was like, listen, why don't you just turn pro boxing? And I was like, prick me, he's pricked and that. And I was thinking about it. And that's why I was like, look, what's the pay? Bear in mind, I'd already had 4K1 fights and then like 2 or 3 grand. Do you know what I mean? He went, oh no, you don't get paid. You got to sell tickets. And I was like, yeah, sack that. But I suppose the journey route and being able to fight isn't when. Do you know what I mean? There's always money on the cards. But I think with what Trushy was trying to say to me is, listen, if you win your first 10 fights and just on ticket sales, then you get a big money fight then. And I was like, yeah, but Trusty, I'm fucking 28. Like I need to be paid now, ASAP. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got kids and family to provide for. Do you know what I mean?
But even then, though, you look at Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew didn't make serious money until he fought David A. And he was a WBC fucking cruiserweight champion.
Yeah.
And he said that when he won the WBC belt, he made enough money and he spunked the rest of it on Christmas. He said by the time his fees, his trainer, his manager, and all the other shit comes out of his purse, I think he was left with like something like 6 or 7 grand. And he said, and that was gone. Like he said, he spunked it all on Christmas for his kids. Going into the new year with not a pot to piss in. So
fucking mad, that is to think that you're a professional athlete fighting on big stages, and but I know what it's like because my mate Paul Truscott, I know he was getting paid well for fighting for Commonwealth title, mate, and then getting it with tax and like you said, their bills and excuse me. all the training and stuff like that, the bills, they add up, don't they? So you can get 30, 40 grand a fight, which is a yearly wage for one fight, which sounds good. But then, you know yourself, you're only fighting once or twice a year. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially these pro boxers now, and how boxers are protected and things are going on with boxers. It's like, it's not a lot unless you're fighting for world titles and getting that £1 million fight. It's the only time it's worth it, isn't it? Really, like.
And then you got to remember as well that your manager will probably get about 15% of your purse. Your trainer will get about 10. It all depends on obviously what deal you've got with them. But and then you've got to go straight back into the gym training for your next one, which could be fucking whenever. You never know when these fights pop up, because obviously negotiations fall through all the time. So that purse that you've made, say you've got 30 grand for a fight, take away your fucking 15% for your manager, your 10% leaves you with whatever. Now you've got to make that last you, because you're not working, you're training.
Yeah. So
that money you've got, it's got to pay the bills, it's got to pay your food, pay your rent and fucking fuel and whatever else you got. So you eat it up quite quickly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's the plans for Big Jack then? What's the crack? I know I follow you. Like, I've noticed you're getting fights coming up, and then things are going wrong around certain fights and stuff like that, isn't it? Like, what's going on with it, brother? Like, have you got anything in plans or what? What's the dance?
Well, I mean, obviously, I was supposed to have that fight against Ben Waddington, wasn't I, back in November, beginning of November. Poor Dal, bless him, passed away of cancer, the man who set it all up.
Yeah, seen that.
And then he supposedly passed it all on to his business partner / mate, whoever he was, who basically just did fuck all, didn't do nothing for it, and just left it all to fall apart pretty much. That didn't happen. So now I've kind of got to the point now where, because all this year, all I feel like I've done is chase fights just because I need the money. So now I've got myself into a place where I think, you know what, if a fight comes, it comes. I don't give a fuck anymore.
What's the crack with the BKFC? Are you in a contract with BKFC, or is it just fight by fight?
I've got a 3-fight contract with them, but I don't know. I mean, they have allowed me to go off and fight on other shows to keep myself busy, but all that's done is just been fucking stress. So, I mean, they're supposedly having another show down London February or March time, but nothing's been confirmed yet, and that's all I seem to hear is, we'll let you know when the dates are. And then it's right, the dates are going to be this place, and the location's changed. Now it's the date's moved and we're going up north. So I mean, I've heard it all for the past 2 years, so I don't know what to believe anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking mad.
You're just going to have to take stuff with a pinch of salt, aren't you, and just see if anything materialises, then it does, doesn't it? If not, then it is what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Well, after 2 or 3 times of getting messed around fights and things getting pulled, you sort of come like immune to it, don't you? You just sort of think, because the first time it pisses you off, second time pisses you off, the third time you're just like, fuck it. But it disarms you as well, doesn't it? It gets to a point where you think, what am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? You start to question yourself, don't you?
I've had to have this conversation with my missus, my trainer, and everything. And I felt like fucking it all off. I really have. I felt like I've put myself in a proper shit position this year, because I wanted to work part time so I could train properly for all these fights. Not one of them seemed to materialise. So working part time would have been fine if I was earning money from these fights. I've not earned fucking beam out of none of these fights. So I've probably put myself in a shit situation financially that I'm slowly starting to crawl back out of. And that's why I ain't fucking doing it to myself again next year. I'm at a point now where I love my Sambo training, so I'm going to stick to that anyway. And I'm still going to stick to like a bit of boxing here and there. But like I said, if a fight comes up, it comes up. If it don't, I'm not chasing it. I can't keep putting myself through it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, listen, brother, if I can give you any advice, I would say don't make any rash decisions around fighting yet. Don't just think, I'll throw the towel in, because you still got a lot to give to the sport, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're still young, you're still fresh, you're still fucking in your prime, mate. Do you know what I mean? You've got a lot to offer. And do you want to know something, brother, as well? I'd be sad to see you not getting back in there, and because that loss, the last fight where you lost, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want you to finish on that because you were better than that guy. You just got caught, didn't you? Do you know what I mean? It was just one of them that can happen to the best of us, mate. And like, you looked a fresher fighter, you looked a better fighter. He was awkward. He's that type of fighter. No matter how good you are, it's hard to look good against that style, isn't it?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And how do you practice for someone of that style as well? It's just hard, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
The only way I was going to beat him is if I carried on putting the pressure on him. Because the moment I started letting my hands go and I started putting it on him, you could see the power difference. I was sending him across the ring with my shots. Even the shots
he still looked good as well, though, didn't he? He was very durable. He was still like he was like doing this with his arm, throwing his punches off and like that. It was strange, wasn't it? Yeah, but I suppose it's not boxing, is it? It's bare knuckle, and I think the variety of fighters come from different backgrounds and getting in that ring, it makes it fucking exciting, and it's like, oh wow, he's awkward. You're watching him fighting him. I remember watching that fight with you and him, and I was a little bit uncomfortable because I thought, how can you read an opponent like that? Like it's hard to see what's.
Do you know what the thing as well? It's hard to read an opponent like that on a full training camp. They pulled him in on fucking 4 or 5 days' notice.
Yeah, I know.
What like the sparring's done at that point. I couldn't get anyone else to spar with at that, like who could replicate that kind of style. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like I said, I got caught. I thought in the actual fight, I thought I was doing all right in the fight. Don't get me wrong, I weren't at my best, and I certainly wasn't at my fittest. But the fight, I don't think that I was getting battered at all in that fight.
For me, my opinion, mate, you were winning the fight. You were winning it. Do you know what I mean? You were winning it. You look the crisper punches, the cleaner punches. You just fucking got caught, didn't you, brother? So listen, how did you handle that loss? I watch your record anyway, Jack. I know you've got a good record. What have you lost before?
No, so that was my first loss. So I've had, how many fights have I had now? I think I've had, so I had Shannon Rich, Greg Main, Mason Shaw, 1, 2, 5. That was my sixth bare knuckle fight, and I've won 4, drawn 1, lost 1.
How did you feel after that loss, mate? Was it hard to handle, hard to deal with, or what? Or were you all right with it?
It's embarrassing, isn't it? It's embarrassing going out like that. The first time in my whole career of fighting that I've been knocked down. And it's, to be honest with you, mate, if it wasn't for my missus, I probably would have reacted a lot differently. It was her keeping my spirits high and everything else. Do you know what I mean? It's go on.
Sorry, mate, go on.
If it was down to me, I'd stayed in the ring, done the fucking announcement, all that lot. And like I said, when I got out of the ring, I didn't even look at anyone in the crowd. I could hear people shouting at me. I just kept my head down, walked backstage, and I just sat down in the dressing room. So I said to the missus, I'm getting my shit and I'm going home. I said, I'm not even going to go out and say goodbye to anyone. I'm going. I was going to slip out the fire exit and fuck off home. She went, no, you ain't. She would get dressed. She would go out and see everyone. So it took me about 10, 15 minutes to get myself sorted out, and I did. And I'm glad I did, to be honest with you.
Do you know what it is, mate? Like, I try my best to keep my ego in check and stuff like that. But you need ego and pride and stuff like that in the fight game. It has to be there. It has to be at the surface because it's your ego and your pride that keeps you confident. That keeps you believing in yourself. Do you know what I mean? So, but when to lose in the fashion like you did, us being fighters and having ego at the forefront, it's like it gets shot down, doesn't it? Your ego shot down, and then you get filled with this low self-esteem and doubt and loss and all these negative, horrible feelings that you've got to sit with as an alpha male. It's I can only imagine. Like, look, one of the reasons, like, my lass does not want me to fight. Like, Sammy's like adamant that I'm not fighting. You're not fighting. I'm like, I am. Like, I have to. So she's not going to like stop me. She just doesn't want me to. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't want me to fight. Yeah. Doesn't want to get me involved. Like, doesn't want to be involved in it because Sammy's never missed one of my fights. She's always been there. She's never missed a fight. She's always been, even when we've just travelled, just me, Sammy, and 2 cornermen, we've just travelled down the Western Supermare to Wales, everywhere. Yeah. And she's always been there. And she's adamant that she's not going to be doing this for this fight because she just says, look, like, I'm not saying you passed it and I still believe in you, but I don't think you'll handle a loss well. And I'm like, of course I will. She's like, you won't. I know you won't. Like, You've done what you've done. You've got out of the fight game undefeated. No, everything's cushy. Why do you want to go back to it? And I'm thinking, for fucking money. Like, if I'm going to go back to BKFC, it's for a couple, 3 or 4 fights, decent pay, get out with a bit of fucking change, crack on. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe it'd be all right for a year or 2. But she's like,
how do you think you handle a loss so like that?
I can sit here and tell you, no, I'll be all right, because I consider myself quite a humble guy today. You know, I'm quite humble. I do my best to try and, you know, I don't know, I've got God, Jack. Now I've got God. I know I'm not invincible. I know I put my faith in God, and it keeps me humble, keeps me level grounded. Do you know what I mean? Because before I had God, my ego and my pride just kept. I felt like I was untouchable. I felt like I was this. Where in hindsight, I wasn't. Do you know what I mean? I never was. It's just a deluded way of thinking. It's a fantasy land. It's just stupid way of thinking. But while I've got God now and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, well, listen, we know the possibilities of getting in a ring. Like, if you don't want to lose, don't get in there, because there's a chance you're going to fucking lose, regardless of how you believe yourself in here and in there. I'm getting in that ring, and then if you lose and you take it hard, then what are you getting in there for? So it's easier said than done.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely.
It is easier said than done. I'd probably take it hard, if I'm being honest, mate. I've never lost. I've had fucking 40-odd fights, a couple of boxing, 32 professional, and I've never lost. So I dare say I would probably take it hard. Yeah,
and that's the thing with it as well. I mean, it's like I said, obviously we don't not. I had the same sort of not mentality of thinking that my ego, and I've always been quite humble. I've never been one to be like try to put myself out to be bigger than what I am or anything like that. But I started to believe in myself proper, and I thought, but you know what, I'm going to start calling out these big names. That's why I was trying to call out the likes of Ben Rothwell and all of those guys, because I was chasing the big money. I wanted a big fight for a big payday. And then obviously I got beat, and now I've just gone bosh. And I thought, like, I remember someone saying to me, "Oh, so what's next for you then? Who are you going to call out now?" I said, "Nobody." Well, why am I going to call someone out after I've just been knocked out? I said, it's like that's just fucking brought me straight back down to earth, and then I've realised I've got a lot of shit to work on, and it's just I've got to build myself back up again now, haven't I? But
I think coming back, getting a win, because listen, what I like about MMA and the BKFC and stuff like that, you could be on a 2-fight losing streak, get in there against an opponent who's 3-0, spank him out, and then all of a sudden back in the mix. Where boxing's not quite like that, is it? Do you know what I mean? Boxing's like, it's not quite like that, where there's BKFC and MMA and K1 and Muay Thai. It's different. Like, there's 9 times out of 10, everyone's got a loss on the record or a few. Do you know what I mean? And the saying goes in K1 and Muay Thai and stuff like that, if you haven't got a loss on your record, you haven't fought anyone decent. You know what I mean? I mean, I beg to differ, obviously, because I've never lost, but it resonates with me because I only ever fought on the British level. So that's probably why I went undefeated. Now, I'm under no illusions that if I'd have travelled across the seas and fought in the gory K1s and all that, then I probably wouldn't have a clean record as clean as I do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I wasn't striving for that. My dream was to fight against Badahari, Gorgon Saki, all these bad boys in K1. I'd have probably got a good licking, but it doesn't matter. Like, that was my dream. That was my goal to reach that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I do like the stuff where it says, if you haven't fought anyone, if you haven't got a loss on your record, you haven't fought anyone decent. Now, that never left me. Someone said that to me about 6 years ago, and I absolutely loved it, because I just thought every other sport, it's very hard to come by. It's very hard to come across someone who's got a clean record in Muay Thai or K1 or even bare knuckle for that fact. You know what I mean?
And the thing that winds me up as well is that on social media and that is you one loss and everyone's like, yeah, he's done. You might as well retire. You've been beaten. But it's like, what the fuck do you know? Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking hell, one loss and you think that's it. Like,
mate, you know yourself now. Like, you've with people like us ourselves. We're content creators now, aren't we? That's what we are. So people like us will come on and talk and then fight and train and do. People, you're always going to have these armchair boxers and critics who are going to pick us apart and show us our mistakes and tell us how shit we are and tell us where we're going wrong. Yeah. They're telling us from behind the keyboard, sat in the man's basement. Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly. You're going to get that all the time. You're going to get that all the time. Listen, mate, I'm quite comfortable with it now. there was once upon a time when I first come around YouTube, I couldn't handle it, and I come away from it. I couldn't handle it, and I come off it like I felt like. Don't get me wrong. I felt like it was the right thing to do because I couldn't handle it. I was taking to heart, and things where I wasn't mentally strong enough at the time. So, and I wasn't making that. I wasn't making thousands of pounds. Where I thought, well, I can't walk away from YouTube. It's paying my bills. Oh,
exactly.
It wasn't.
Just a headache.
YouTube. Yeah, but this time around, I'll come back now, got recovery, strong relationship with God. I thrive off that stuff. The positive comments, absolutely uplifting, inspiring they are for me. Amazing. But I can also look at the hate and the bad shit that I get from that as well. That inspires me. You know what I'm saying? Because I always think if a grown man who's never met me, or grown adult who's never ever met me, never ever met me in person, or just spoke to me in person, but yet wants to come on YouTube and bash me like he knows me, I just think, wow, like imagine being that person. Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I always think that. I always think, what's going wrong in that person's life to make them want to come on YouTube and or social media in general and just slate people? I think something seriously is going wrong in their lives for the people to make people want to do that, I think.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. But look. Listen, Jack. You mentioned. I think I heard you speaking about it. I think you did mention it. But am I right in saying this? Aggie. Did you mention Aggie? Did you mention Aggie Faulkner?
Yeah.
Did you mention him?
Yeah, I mentioned him in a couple of videos. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that matchup. I like that matchup. It's similar. I look at Aggie and he's similar style to me, where he's walking forward, he's tight, and he's just a fucking big strong puncher, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? And then you've got your style, elusive on the back foot, jab and move. It makes for a good fight. I like them type of styles. When two styles come together, a banger and a mover, it makes for a fun fight, a fun watch, doesn't it? Because it's two different styles colliding. I do like that. I wouldn't mind watching that.
He's a fucking fit lad as well, isn't he?
He's a fucking beast, mate. He's a beast. Listen, I know Aggie. I speak to Aggie. I know him on a personal level, and the man's a fucking animal. Lives and breathes gym. Do you know what I'm saying? It's fucking. But again, listen, two different types of athletes. If you ask me, like I know you're both fighting in the BKFC, but if you watch us both train, you've got that traditional boxing, elusive, amateur style, and he's like, I'm sure he's had MMA fights. I'm not sure. A fucking fighter, and he's just a brawler. It's just he comes to fight, don't he? Do you know what I mean? And I think it'd make for a good fight because I couldn't see any one of you getting put away. It just make for a fucking fun fight. That might be a fight to come. That might be a fight to call for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was supposed to be obviously if this fight happens in February or March. Obviously, they was trying to match me up with Rob Cunningham, but obviously he's taking a bit of time away from bare knuckle, going back to MMA. So
yeah, he mentioned that when I went down sparring with him, and because he likes a lot of grappling, Rob, and he's a strong man, big man, strong man, 130 odd kilos he weighs. It's a beast of a man.
I'm 135.
Fucking massive. Honestly, brother, I'm going to be honest with you. When I've been sparring with these big lads and Mix Terrell and Rob Cunningham and stuff like that, even though I felt all right, like I felt all right. I thought I'm enjoying myself. It's good. Stephen Robertson sparring with him as well. I just think with it only being boxing, I'm giving away so many attributes: reach, height, weight. Yeah. Like Paul, I think it's time to have a look at cruiserweight or see what weight you can get at. I didn't mind fighting big lads at K1 because it could kick. Just leg kicks, boom, boom. And I think when you're small and short and heavy like I was, I think your advantage is kicking. The leg kicks are fucking the worth the treat. But now I can't kick. I'm just thinking, this is hard work. It's like fucking hard work sparring against the big boys.
Yeah, I want to get back down to about 17 stone, I think.
Yeah. What do you weigh? What's 130 odd kilos? What's about 20 stone?
Just over 21, so 21.2 or 3, I think I am.
Yeah. That'd make for an interesting fight. That there, what someone's put. Terrell versus Draper.
Mate, a few people have said about it. On you up.
So, I'm on a live over here. Mad. That'd be make for an interesting fight. That Terrell versus Draper. Are you up Terrell wins?
A few people have said that about me and Mick Terrell, and I just said I had to put a couple of people straight, and I said, look, there's no point putting me and Mick Terrell in the same sentence yet. I mean, he's up fighting for the title, and I've had my debut and I lost.
Like, we're miles apart, mate. Like you said, it only takes 1 or 2 wins in a BKFC, mate, and you're right back in the contention. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah, I know.
You're right back there.
I think that as much as I like that, I think if you're up there and you suffer a loss, then another win and you're back up there. I agree with that, but he's up there fighting for the title, which I believe he's going to win.
Yeah, I do. Way
down here, just had my debut for BKFC and I lost. So I've got probably 3 or 4 fights until I even consider fighting him. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's a long way off yet. If I fight Terrell, it still would be a good fight, I suppose. A good fight for everyone.
Yeah, it would. And I tell you one thing now, Terrell is a fucking unbelievable fighter. K1, Muay Thai, and now boxing. Yeah. And when you like, even though I've only been traveling doing light sparring with these boys. You know what as well? Like when people watching out sparring are going, "Oh, you got battered there, you got levered there." I'm thinking, fucking, there's no winners or losers. It's fucking sparring. You can't. It's stupid. But when I sparred with Terrell, I sparred with Stevie Robinson, sparred with Matt Legg. These guys, too big, powerful, fast and sharp. I felt really uncomfortable, but I enjoyed myself. I loved it. You know, I was rusty. I was quite unfit. When I was with Terrell, I was a little bit fitter and I felt a little bit sharper. But God damn, is he awkward. Jesus. Fucking hell. He kept doing this thing where when I was walking forward, he was just touching my right hand, and then firing, touching. And then at the end of the session, he says, "You always make me feel uncomfortable touching that right hand." And I said, "Yeah." So what the fuck was that? He went, "Because I know you got good timing with your right hand." He said, "You always time your right hand and fire. Even though you're a pressure fighter, I always lead with the right hand or wait. I'll parry or I'll move back and then fight with the right." I said, "He was just touching my right hand. It throwing me off. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't throw it just because he was touching it." Oh, mate, done me head in. You're going to love me, mate. It's off it.
You're going to love me.
I'm not. I'm going to end up kicking you nice and early. That's what's going to happen. We're going to be doing boxing training. I can't lay a glove on you, and I'm just going to swing a big old leg kick straight.
wait till I check it, and I want to see the look on your face when I check it. You'll be like, "Oh, fuck."
No, but listen, mate. Do you want to know something, mate? It'd be a breath of fresh air doing a bit of K1 sparring, because I've been trying to reach out to a couple of K1 lads and Muay Thai lads, but every fucker's having time off and that. Do you know what I mean? So. And anyway, I've been enjoying the boxing sparring, but when you mentioned, we'll do some boxing sparring, then we'll do some K1 sparring, I was over the moon. I was absolutely buzzing. I've
seen a lot of people say like slating your boxing ability. Like, look, we know you can box. We know you can box, but obviously your thing is K1. Like you said, those leg kicks, fucking game changers. And I thought, Joe, fuck it. I'll be a man about it. I'll give the world of YouTube the opportunity to see what you can really do. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, mate, I appreciate it, mate, and it'd be fucking good. But I've got a funny feeling you've got something up your sleeve. You've been training Sambo kicking. I've been watching your stuff. Been watching you kick and flinging the odd leg kicking, and I'm not daft, mate. I'm can't. I see you coming.
Listen, it's nothing compared to what you've done. Let's put it that way.
I appreciate that, brother. Listen, sorry, brother, go on.
I know a little bit. I know a little bit of stuff with the kicking and that, but fucking not.
Yeah, we'll do some. Obviously, we'll do some K1 pads and stuff like that, and we'll have a little mess about in it. I'm going to finish on this, brother, because I'm going to get going to the baby.
No worries, mate.
Smelly fish challenge. Payback time. Listen, I owed you one for that fucking one chip challenge that you nominated me, mate. And
no, the one chip challenge you didn't even do properly. That one.
Yeah, I left half a chip in the packet, but she grasped me up, didn't she?
Yeah, proper.
Well, listen, mate, it should be a good crack, this smelly fish one. I'm looking forward to it, mate. So, mate, I've just been looking at the price of it. 40 quid for a tin of it.
Fucking hell, is it?
40 fucking quid, mate, for fucking fortune, but it should make for good content. Obviously, I'm like you are. I've got dead weak gag reflex. Anything and I'm throwing up, do you know what I mean? So it should be good, mate. So be prepared. Once I get 20k, mate, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, that'd be funny. That.
Listen, Jack, thanks for jumping on with that. Really appreciate your time, mate. I'll be in touch, mate, because we're going to get some sparring before Christmas, aren't we? We're going to get you down before Christmas. We'll get some sparring. You can punch me head in boxing, and I'm going to fill you in K1, and then we'll go for a nice palm up.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, my
No
brother.
worries.
Thanks for
All right,
jumping on,
bro.
Jack. Much
See you in
appreciated,
a
my
bit.
brother. God bless,
Cheers,
my
mate.
man. Take care.